at and where we are at, we are potting live from our respective homes. Shout out to you lovely people all wherever you are catching us today. Also, remember, you can watch it back after. Sometimes there's a full episode with some edits, sometimes there's not. That's all me. Busy, busy times last week. But yeah, how's everyone doing today?
Alhamdulillah, a little tired, but comes with the day.
I'm
James?
good. Can't complain. My favorite day of the week.
Thursday.
Yeah. We've dispelled that a long time ago. So I'm good. How are
I,
you, Charles?
no, I'm doing fine. I had a chill day today. I feel as though favorite days of the week are a thing. Marcus Pringle was the first person who put me on to that way back in the day. Wednesdays in like 2000 like nine. Wednesdays were his favorite days of the week, and I always found that very particular that cats had favorite days of the week that weren't the weekend.
I feel like Thursday starts the weekend for me. So I can't speak for a Wednesday. That doesn't get the well. To each his own.
You know what that's all I'm saying is that when you said that, it made me actually think of that. Some cats
He's
are
starting his on Wednesday. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
some cats on weekday. Listen, I'm a morning cat. Like I like to do a lot of shit in the morning. Like
Definitely a morning cat.
catch me before 11 a.m. You could get me to do a lot of things that I probably wouldn't do after. Like no funny shit.
Yeah.
But everyone's different. All right. But as Mook said, he was tired to start the day. But I wanted to mention Ramadan has begun.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah.
So one time for our brothers and sisters in Islam, many
Appreciate it.
many of them who are fasting, praying, and going through the lovely month of Ramadan. So we want to send our support, our love to our brothers and sisters, and hope they get through this month with great pride and strength. So shout out to my Muslim sisters and brothers.
Amen, amen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept everyone's fasting and salah, dua, and acts of good service during this month of
Yeah, I was gonna get into a whole history of it, but I felt as though like that's your lane. So you could teach us one of these weeks about the Ramadan bag. So
I got you next week when I'm not as lethargic. My body will be adjusted.
see, I figured all of that would be playing a part. So once again, shout out to all the Muslims around the world currently celebrating Ramadan. May Allah grant you a lot of strength through this time.
I mean,
So today's show, I think we would be remiss if we didn't start with a rest in peace to a black American civil rights icon, legend.
to some.
I was going to say a man who had I guess the best way to put it is maybe a mixed um, bag as far as how people thought of him. Jesse Jackson passed this Wednesday, February 18th, 2026. And like Mook said, legend to some, icon to some, but a controversial figure in totality. I learned a few new things about him in the days since his passing that I thought were very interesting. Just as far as maybe his life story that doesn't get told a lot. But I'm gonna start with you guys. Any kind of strong feelings about Jesse Jackson, or any kind of feelings that you maybe not people might be surprised?
I mean, I don't think it'd be a surprise if I was like, I don't fuck with Jesse Jackson, but I honestly have no real feelings toward Buddy. Like, besides the fact I felt like when Martin Luther King passed, he really tried to like step into that lane in a sense when it came to the movement. A lot of people in the movement did not like that. That's why I said to some. But to me personally, it's just like I don't really know enough about him to really have a harsh opinion. My grandmother did not like him. She was in the city when he was running around and doing a lot of things in politics. She was like in charge of like the nursing union and stuff like that in the city. She was head of a maternity ward in one of the hospitals in DC that's no longer here with us. So Yeah, shout out to grandma. But I remember talking to her about the civil rights movement, and because I found some paperwork that she had or whatever, and it had like NAACP and a bunch of other stuff on it. It was like a brochure. And I asked her about it. She was like, "Yeah, I remember that." And I was like, "Oh, Jesse Jackson was at this jump?" And she was just like, "Mm-hmm, he was there." And I was just like, "Oh." I was like, so I tried to dig deeper, and she was just like, you know what I'm saying? You know, old Southern women, it's just like they don't got nothing nice to say. They're not gonna say too much. But she also didn't like defame him in any way. But she was just like, yeah, he was a interesting character. So, but yeah, but I didn't know he accomplished that much, like the Rainbow Coalition and stuff like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't know he was in charge of that. But yeah, shout out to him. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant him Jannah Furus, I mean, and may his family be grieving in the easy way. I mean,
Yeah, I think to your point, that was the biggest thing. I think I knew about him in a very generic way. You know, like I think growing up, he's one of those people. He's like a Rosa Parks where he's talked about, but I don't really know if there's a lot of deep discussion on like his actual works. I think that Rainbow Coalition point you made was a very like that was something that I'm learning a lot more. Like I've heard the name many a times before, but like actual details about it and things of that nature were basically like non-existent to me.
facts.
Um, I read this great article in the New York Times about him running because I knew he ran for president twice. I think that's another part of his story that I think is pretty well told. Him running for president.
It was like him and Shirley Chisholm, like the only two there.
Yeah, prior to Obama, like they were the first ones on a major party ticket to run for president in the U.S. But I think the thing that at least I found surprising is there's a good New York Times article about him running in '84 and '88, and I think the thing that I didn't
I
realize is
didn't
that
even know about the '84 jump.
yeah. So apparently, in '84, he made a remark about New York City, and and it was
I
a
saw
this
this in the doc.
yeah, and he called it
Jaime Town or some shit.
yeah, I don't know exactly what the how
How
you
you
would
pronounce it?
how you would pronounce it, but he called it apparently what is deemed a Jewish slur, and that essentially ended his presidential run. They said that he couldn't win New York because of that, and ultimately, it really ended his campaign from what a lot of people say.
Anti-Semitism, boy.
And not just that it ended his campaign, but it brought to light a lot of the tensions between the Jewish and the Black American communities at the time, which I thought was very interesting because it wasn't something that I was very privy to. And I think the last part about it was that they said that due to he hired a Jewish campaign manager for his 1988 election, and even though he did not win the 1988 election, apparently he did a lot better. He won five more states than he did in '84, and ultimately they said that the turnout that he had in New York led to them having their first black mayor in 1990. So I found a lot of that interesting. So Jesse Jackson, I think, is a very very polarizing figure. To your point about the Martin Luther King stuff, I think that's probably like the most I don't want to say damning, but like that's the thing that I see the most now. Like ever since his death, about basically, was he a clout chaser? I guess like that's how you would frame it in 2026 terms. Um, but I definitely feel as though it's a lot easier to like slander a man when he's dead. Like were people slandering Jesse Jackson like a year ago?
Yes, actually, I've seen interviews of people that were in the movement back then
Well, no, no,
slandering
no. I'm
Jesse
not
Jackson.
saying those Vlad TV type. I'm just saying in general. Like,
I'm with you.
was the general consensus that like Jesse Jackson was bad vibes? Like, I don't remember that being the general consensus.
Oh, I mean, it probably wasn't known, but after my grandmother said that, I definitely did some deep dive.
No, no, you're right. You're definitely right that there's large groups of people who feel that like feel strongly about
Yeah.
Jesse Jackson's. You have people calling him a rat, an informant. Like so there's no denying that controversy, exists. My question would be, is that like the prevailing sentiment? I would argue not really, not with Jesse. Other people for sure, but not with him.
No, probably not. Not really. Especially today. Like if
That's
we're
what I'm
talking
saying.
about today, nah. But
Exactly.
if this was like if he would have passed like 10, 15 years ago, different story.
I think I agree too. Even some of his like, he had that take on Obama when he said he wanted to cut Obama's nuts off. Very, very funny. Very funny. I thought that was very funny. But no, he's a real American hero. Like Jesse Jackson freed like helped free multiple American soldiers during like his political career. He's been a guy who, for better or for worse, has been
He
or
accomplished it.
yeah, he accomplished it no matter what. And like, he was very much so in the '70s part of a black uh American group that was pro Palestine at the time. Like that's
That's facts.
like that's a we talk a lot about Palestine now and but I think his life is a clear example that there's been relationships between these groups for a long time. In the '70s, he was part
Yeah,
of the.
that should go back to the '60s for real.
You know what I'm saying? So like, it's a there's a great to me. Most people in life are gonna have not multiple. I don't want to say multiple stories, but they're gonna have multiple perspectives of how people see them. And I think if you don't, that probably says more about you than other people. Like I think you should have people kind of not have like wholly different ideas of you, but there should be multiple perspectives of what your life was because nobody's life is kind of clear cut or like black and white
Facts. Unless you molded that way. But even then, it's just like their opinion on you will still be very strong.
type shit. Oh, Matter, you got anything to say on the good Reverend Jesse Jackson? Was he a reverend,
Uh,
or did I just make that up?
I think he was a reverend.
Definitely, Reverend. That's why
I,
he try to step in okay lanes, not to cut you off, sir.
yeah, I don't. Here's a lot of things that were just said that I do agree and disagree with, and I kind of don't know where I want to steer this ship. I think personally, as Chuck said, cats like to slander cats. God just passed. Let's bring up all the good, the bad. Typically, cats are bringing up the bad in the past, 48 hours or whatever, and they're trying to find the light of the good. I think, you know, as also as Charles said, he lived many a lives, many of years. There's definitely, to me, I think more good than bad. I kind of think that maybe the bad just outweighs the good, but I think at the end of the
Mm.
day your man probably just had good intentions, right? I randomly hit the chat the other day. I was like, did anybody see the Lyndon B. Johnson movie? And I hate to equate this man to a white man, even though I do think that in some sense of the matter, again, this is me giving the bad once the man is dead. In some sense of the matter, I think he's kind of an Uncle Tom, but that's neither here nor there.
Mm.
Um, but I'm watching the Lyndon B. Johnson, right? And they just talk about like this guy was older than JFK. And I hate to go here again because white man, black man. But Lyndon had an agenda. He wanted to rule, right? And then he just couldn't because this guy was here. He had more stuff going on than what he had. And I feel like that's kind of how it was with the Jesse Jackson when people talk about him trying to, overtake whatever the hell MLK had once he passed or whatever. It's all nasty work. But I feel like he probably had these intentions. He just wasn't able to do so. And then, once the person that was in his way, unfortunately, got assassinated, it's just like, now I can step in. But I feel like those are his intentions
We're always
the,
there.
enti- the entire time. And it just kind of looks nasty because, all right, now that he's dead, I'm going to step up and, control my agenda. But I think that was kind of always his bag. But I think ultimately the guy has been there for, the African American Party for the majority of his life. You know what I'm saying? Despite the cut the nuts off for our first black president, yes, it was wild. I just sent the
And his
links to
son
his
being
brother.
a political thief.
You know what I'm saying? Like maybe things he can't control with his child. You know what I mean? But I feel like
He was a
to
part of the
me,
investigation, but he got cleared.
I think
Hold on.
he
Well,
had.
hold on. I thought I what was up?
Jesse Jackson's son.
Yeah. I know the political.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
Jesse Jackson was a part of the investigation as well. Like they investigated Jesse Jackson.
Yeah. Okay. I thought I
Yeah.
heard something else, but no.
No.
I'm sorry. Continue.
But I just think ultimately, I think his purpose was more than what the demise was. The bad. I think he was just trying to, do what he did, which is get everybody together. As we said, the Rainbow Coalition. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like that was his thing. So it's not like that was fake. You know what I'm saying? Like he took that from the '60s, from the assassination until his ultimate passing. So I mean, I don't. I'm very much, as Mook said, I don't have too much for him, but I feel like I'm very neutral with him. I don't despise him. I'm not championing him at the same time, but I feel very neutral with the guy. No gripes with me, man. I think he was trying his best, but who knows, man? I don't know. Uncle Tom vibes as well.
Damn. That's crazy. No, I mean, listen.
That's what it gives though.
That's what I'm saying.
My only thing about the Uncle Tom thing, and I'm not saying that y'all are wrong. It's just like I feel as though living in the times we live in, it's very easy to have that perspective. I think for someone who lived in those times, the maneuvering of like for us, I don't ever think we lived in a world where like we felt like we need to actually like respect white people for our livelihood. That's a fair assessment, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's like for him. That's quite the opposite. Like there was a large portion of his life where it literally the law made it okay for white people to do like harm him just for being so like he has a different perspective. I think when dealing with white people or when like wanting to work with white people. Like I don't have to give a fuck about working with white people because I never lived in a world in which I was like concerned that like a white person was just gonna like come on through and do something to me. That's not the reality for him. Like so, I just like to maybe play devil's advocate as a like, hey, maybe he might while he might seem like an Uncle Tom, maybe that's just like the times. Oh, matter you were talking about this with the Tyra Banks documentary that it's just those are just the times. Like not right, not wrong, just what it is. And I think I see that a little bit with not just Jesse but other icons and leaders of that time who might get that description thrown on them. But shout out to Jesse Jackson, rest in peace. Let's move on to some new things. Oh, some old things and some new things. We got a sewage spill update. Like I said, I want to pat ourselves on the back. You pat yourselves on the back because the week we did do the live show and we first talked about the spill or the sewage spill, I would argue there was very little talk about it, just on a national or very regional scale. Now, as of Wednesday, February 18th, Mayor Bowser, Mayor Muriel Browser declared a disaster emergency over the Potomac sewage spill, and she requested federal assistance for the cleanup. Um, that comes after almost 2 weeks of the initial. Well, this comes a month after first the initial sewage spill that happened after the Potomac. I'm gonna on one more time. After the Potomac interceptor was collapsed on January 19th, and that comes another 2 weeks after a second sewage spill, the one that we talked about on our live show last week,
The
had
wipes.
had the wipes had that issue. Um, this all comes browsers acts for federal help comes after Trump and his administration decided that they were going to blame Governor Wes Moore in Maryland for the issues with the inter. Yeah, so basically, there's been infighting between the Trump administration and Governor Wes Moore's administration about who is actually responsible for what happened. Trump and them have saying that it is Maryland who hasn't done the due diligence to make sure that everything is working correctly, and it is Governor and it is Governor Wes Moore, who's pushing back, saying that it's actually the federal government that is in control of the interceptor, and it is their issue to handle. That has been going back and forth for the last week or so, and I guess we will see what happens next. But like I said, the most update that we have now is that DC has asked for federal help, and I know last week we said that they had ideas of what the spill was, but it is officially the largest U.S. history, the largest sewage spill in U.S. history. Over 240 million gallons of wastewater flowed into the Potomac, and that's of what we know. That's not even all of it, but that's where we stand right there on the sewage spill. Anything you guys want to say about that update? I saw your face when I was talking about Moore versus Trump.
Nah, cause I was looking at you. I was reading right in that point where you talked about it, saying that the last century the federal government has controlled this, but these past 4 weeks now they're trying to
Bro,
like what
that's
is
my
going on?
that's my point, bro. Like, why is the mayor of DC asking for federal help for something that is federal?
It's
Well,
crazy.
well, that's the whole DC thing: taxation without representation.
No,
And
I'm hip, but it's just like, bro, like that's y'all shit.
but that's
Like,
the
literally.
that's the whole like that's the here's the issue. DC, and this is
Cause,
this is
once we had them levels of E. coli in the water,
yes.
federal is supposed to step in.
Regardless, I also that's what you're saying. Regardless,
Yeah, that's what
okay,
I'm saying. Like once those levels of E. coli come in, bro, it's no longer a local issue, my
yeah, it's
nigga.
no
Like
longer
this
a
is federal
state.
now.
Okay,
This is like
I get that point.
and the DC's not a state, so it's
Oh,
like it's definitely like a federal thing. So it's just like, bro, like I should not have to come and ask the president for help when this is a federal issue, my nigga. Like this,
I
and then you defunded the EPA, so like, you really need to answer to this.
Well, I wholeheartedly agree with you, but the issue is because it's DC terrorists. See, that's what DC's whole issue is that DC, as a federal terror, as a state, whatever.
Sanctuary, I believe is what
What
it's
what
called.
So why is this Wes Moore's fault, bro?
it's not. But the thing is that how you, as someone who lives in this area, you know how DC works. Things will be owned by DC, but in Virginia, like physically located in Virginia. The Potomac Interceptor is located.
The Pentagon.
I'm
The,
seeing Montgomery County.
is located in Montgomery County. So you know what Trump does? He lies. Because it is located in Montgomery County, he has deemed it Wes Moore's responsibility. But everybody knows for the last 100 years, DC Water has been responsible for that interest. Like that's how this works. So when things like that's the issue with DC. When things fail in DC, they tend to blame Maryland, Virginia, and all these other places because it's those places have actual governments. Maryland, DC City Council is like nine cats running around, like running around doing God knows what. Like, be fucking serious. Like,
Taking pictures at park.
DC Council is literally like if you could get enough of your homies to vote for you. Like, that's all DC. It's not really this. It's not like Annapolis.
Yeah.
They're not really beholden to stringent laws outside of like how many people in DC who actually vote or even could even tell you who is on their council or who is their ward. Like DC is a very weird city because it is very, very is very much so responsible for a lot of things. Like it's the capital of the United States. It is where all the politicians in every part of the world come. Yet its city in itself is governed like it's like a
Puerto Rico.
even like worse than Puerto, it's governed like it's like a parking planet. Like it's just land that belongs to somebody. Like that's how they govern DC. Like it's just a place where like oh yeah we got that land. Like that's kind of how they govern DC. And you see it when things like this happen. When real civilized issues happen, nobody actually has an answer except for hey, can someone help me? Like literally that's all DC is like. Hey, you guys, can someone help me? And that's what Browser did. Like she asked for help, so shout out to her. I mean, I don't know
I mean,
if
she had
the,
to take the proper steps to even ask for help. She had to deem it a fucking
you
emergency.
know what I'm saying? Like you got to do a lot of stuff just to get some shit cleaned up in your water in DC. But we have that's the update on that. So if I was you this summer, man, I'm not a big like water sports person or anything like that. I don't kayak. I don't really. But man,
Don't eat that seafood.
stay away from the Potomac this summer. It seems like, or this spring, like all that kayak and all that. What's that little boat thing they got on the water? DC on
The water taxi
the
jump. That
what?
jump be crazy.
Yeah, it might be
The
dead
little
this year.
Odyssey jump.
All of
That
that.
too.
It might be dead for y'all this summer. So
All
like,
that little, all your little yacht jumps on the jumps, them dead for a chain.
yeah,
That
all
that.
all the national harbor. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
you won't be doing that this summer, you guys. Land activities in the DC DMV area this summer.
Touch
Um,
grass, my nigga.
so after the sewage spill, we got some more national news. Let's go to Rhode Island. Everyone knows what happened in Rhode Island, correct?
No.
The hockey shooter. You didn't hear about the Rhode Island hockey shooter?
Ah.
Wow, Mook. Okay, well, let's update you. A person who
When
opened
did this happen?
I'll let you know. A person who opened fire during a youth hockey game at an ice rink in Rhode Island on Monday killed their ex-wife and one son. The chief of police, Tina Gonclave, said Tuesday. Uh, the ex-wife was Rhonda Dorgan and adult son Aiden Dorgan. The shooter injured three others before a parent self-inflicted gunshot wound to himself. Uh, the police identified the shooter as 56-year-old Robert Dorgan, who also went by the name Roberta Esposito.
Okay.
Dorgan, who police identified as the shooter,
He was one of they them.
yes.
Okay.
Super they them.
Hey brother, chill out. I'm just trying to wrap my
No,
brain
no, no,
around
no.
it.
All right, so well, that's the crux of that's the crux of the conversation here. So,
Hold on, time out, not to cut you off. Is this who Trump was talking about?
about when?
I don't know. I just saw a clip of somebody calling people T word.
Maybe, but this is well. Let's just break this down. So,
Well,
this this shooting
Right.
this shooting at the hockey rink. If you've seen the video, it's very crazy. Like they were streaming this hockey event while the shooting happened, so they have like pretty clear cut video of the murder.
Absolutely.
But the dude, but the person, the shooter, does identify as trans. So what has happened, and basically from Monday is depending on what type of outlet you are, that's how the story has been framed. So basically, like left
Okay,
leaning,
that's what I was talking about. They was like all the mass shooters have been T words.
yes. So basically, all the right wing and moderate kind of outlets have been basically, transgender this, transgender that, da 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 da. Most of the left wing, I would argue, maybe moderate center, are going with, person committed murder, and the fact that he had an SS tattoo and he was apparently very much so into right wing she was into very much so right wing conservative talking points, blase blase. I think speaks to Omatic's point last week about the Super Bowl halftime show and in a divided America. A person just came and shot up a hockey ring, a youth hockey ring game. That's where the discussion should be on. The discussion should be on guns and the murder of people. But
And domestic violence.
and domestic violence, right? Because he killed his ex-wife and his son. But the conversation is strictly on this person's identity or what it is or isn't, whether this person is trans, whether this person is conservative. When why does that matter when this person has taken the lives of two people, harmed three others who are in critical condition, and has traumatized not just like a commute like that
A state.
community. That community is forever. They're done for. Like all those kids, all those everybody in that community is traumatized, and now we're having online debates about whether trans. It feels very icky it feels very icky that that's where we're at, to the point that like you could murder someone in cold blood, and literally the first thing that's gonna happen is we're gonna have to debate about what type of like that's really what we on right now. Come on, man.
Man, and the times we in, bro, victims don't matter. I mean, this shit is sad to say, but it's just like victims don't matter. Fool. Like, no matter what story we look at, you know what I'm saying? From our next topic, I'm pretty sure we about to dive into to what we talking about now, to Sudan, Philistine, Yemen. You know what I'm saying? Like Lebanon, Iran specifically, especially right now. Like nobody cares about the victims in these cases. They just care about the flashy talking points and the fake wokeness. What Emily be saying? Woke, utter woke nonsense.
Utter woke nonsense.
Yeah, that's all they care about, bro. That niggas don't care about the victims and actually real justice for like. And then he killed himself, so it's like it makes it easier to talk about
Yeah,
like
that's
all the
true.
other stuff because it's just like okay, like it's justified now. It's not, bro. Like it's many, it's a lot of other things we can talk about to actually make this shit not happen again, regardless of that person and their identity, sexuality, and all of that, bro. Like domestic violence, gun rights, and mental health. Like those three things are what we should be talking about right now, especially with the young kids, bro. Like that shit crazy.
Yeah, nah, man. It was funny, not funny, but well, that's the word I use. It was funny because me and Brad were talking. There was another story about a man, who him and his au pair,
Oh yeah,
are
in Virginia.
yeah in Virginia because he killed his wife, and he said he killed his wife and a stranger because he wanted to be with the au pair, blah blah blah. And me and Bad were joking that like, yo, we should do like make a show in which a divorce lawyer basically puts out an ad, and he advertises to men who would potentially kill their wife to come with him and get a divorce, not to kill their wife. And it was just like a ha 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 joke at the time, but like
Yeah, that is though.
dead ass though, like I hate to be I never like to do the all men thing, but like nah, like some of these all men shit, like there has to be a better way to resolve. Hey, my wife is leaving me, or my
How can I get out of this but not lose my life?
whatever. Like there has to, even like with the dude, Roberta, a person who killed. There has to be a better way of dealing with. Hey, I did something. I transitioned. I'm not being accepted the way I want to, but I'm not gonna like lash out because that's what it seems like from everything I've read after is that this person was lashing out because they felt like they were not being accepted by their family. Apparently, this person's mother's died recently. They were asked not to come to the funeral. His son was about to graduate or have some event like a senior night event, was asked not to attend. So it feels as though like a lot of what was going on is a person who couldn't accept the idea that they weren't, people weren't messing with them, and they lashed out. And I just find that, not once again, not funny, but interesting that this seems to be a common theme, that like when cats feel like they cannot control like the outcome of something, all of a sudden everybody gotta die. In particular, white men. Like this is a very much so a white, nah, for real. Like, do black cats just be killing their wife when they about to get a divorce? Like, not that much. Like, it is a way more white. Like
Yeah, for sure.
black cats are just
Statistically, you're right.
black cats. We got our own issues. Like, we be killing each other. Like that's a big thing. But we don't just be
That,
out here killing our wives off the strength. Like,
I mean, there was a we had some moments like Cuz tried to set his ex-wife on fire, um, coming out the bank, threw acid on her and whatnot. That was the time.
oh yeah, yeah. We listen. Every we all got our our outliers, but I'm just saying as a group, this is not something black people do. Like, black people don't just be trying to off.
Probably go after Cuz that she leaving before.
Yes, yes, yes. More,
That's totally
way
cool.
more likely in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
African
agreed.
American community for
Yeah.
sure. But yeah, that was the Rhode Island shooter. I didn't want to spend much time on that, but I definitely want to.
Oh, Matic, what you got to say, bro?
I really don't have much, man. I've been on a sick rabbit hole on a YouTube page just about murderers, and I hate to admit that, but it kind of falls into the line of what Cash just said. It be the white people, which is kind of crazy. Now I'm not gonna lie and say on my rabbit hole I didn't see a few blacks on there
Of
doing
course.
stuff they shouldn't have been doing, but
Hey yo,
it definitely be some white people on there.
he said doing stuff they
They
shouldn't
shouldn't
be
be doing
doing.
it.
But I think that's interesting, to the point of saying, because again, you didn't know about this whole story move. It's been plastered all week,
But
but they've been trying to. There's been sides to be like, hey, he wasn't accepted by da 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 da. Oh, his something wasn't accepted, and they're trying to make it like a retaliation type of deal. But why is that? Why is the retaliation like offing? Why do you got to kill everybody?
Yes. Yeah.
Like,
Why
why
not
you
just
got to
off
get?
yourself?
You know what I'm saying?
I
Why
mean, he
why
did
why
that anyway.
No, no,
So
I get that.
why do you have to do that? You know what I'm saying? Retaliate in another way that doesn't risk harm to anyone. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Like, why
but
do we have
listen,
to kill?
if you're gonna harm yourself. Why do other people have to be harmed? Because listen, if you wanna do your thing, but it's actually wild to me that he, he would think, or people in general would think that, oh, because I something happened to me,
I
or I,
gotta I gotta bam out on
yeah,
everybody.
that doesn't make sense to me. Like,
So Mook, as I wouldn't watch it. It's a desensitized America. But when you watch the joint, bro, it's just like the game is like this. It's like a wide angle of the game. The whole game, all you hear is shots, and that bitch just pan over. You don't know what's going on. It's just pandemonium. And I'm just like, all right, bro.
but
I have enough.
if I ain't watched the Nipsey video, I damn sure ain't watching that.
Yeah, that shit. It's just like, why are you doing this, bro? You know what I'm saying? But maybe America got to him. If this is what retaliation is, the niggas not trying to accept them. Is this what is this America that we have to be right now? Are we not accepting these people? You know what I'm saying? Like,
once again, as I would say, we have been very progressive because in like 2020, we were here talking about transgender rights and that. And I remember very specifically us being like, just bro, you have to care about them because they are a community in which they are being hurt out
Facts.
outward outsized and an outsized number. Like it was I forget my brain is run over it. But the numbers it showed that they were a marginalized, however you want to, that community, things were happening to them that weren't happening to other people. So
Facts.
whether you agree, once people are dying, literally people are being murdered, people are killing themselves, you got to take a step back and be like, all right, why? And I don't think enough people have actually been like, yo, like, why are people who identify as XYZ doing this? You know what I'm saying? I think it's very easy to kind of shun and just be like, trans this, trans that. But it's like, yo, people real life dying out here. Like, let's,
But when you terrorize when you terrorize a community, you create terrorism within that community. So it's just like that's just how it goes. And like if you keep perpetuating that cycle, then you just gonna keep getting instances like this. Like we see it everywhere. Like you keep poking the bear if you want to, my nigga. You gonna lash out eventually.
big facts. Move to Epstein, the Epstein update. So,
Speaking of a bear,
with no actual change in the actual news, what did happen is though, remember we were here last week, we said there were 3 million files that got released. Well, of those 3 million files, there have been some great journalism work by people out there, and they have been uncovering some things. Some of the things that they have covered have actually led to some consequences. So shout out to the New York Times. The New York Times has put together a very good database that shows everybody who currently has had some sort of consequence happen to them due to the Epstein files. Now, to be clear, only one person has been arrested. Funny enough, that person is former Prince, because this is funny. The monarch has stripped former Prince Andrew of his title. So he is no longer Prince Andrew. He is going by Mr. Mountbatten Windsor, or however you say his middle name or whatever his surname. So he has been demoted from Prince Andrew to Mr. Mountbatten Windsor, formerly
So is he
known as
just
Prince.
is he a
Huh?
sir? Is he even a sir?
No, they have stripped him of the title.
Damn.
Now, he was arrested and then he spent 12 hours in police custody in the UK, but was ultimately released. And the only other person in Norway, I hope I don't say this man's name wrong, Thorbjorn Jagland was criminally charged. He is a former prime minister of Norway, and he was charged with gross corruption in connection with his files to Mr. Epstein. These are the only two people who have been criminally have had some sort of criminal action taken against them. There have been a number of people in academia, finance, and other places who have either resigned or lost their jobs. But as of now, these are the only two people, Windsor, Mountbatten Windsor, and former Norway president, prime minister Thorbjorn Jagland. I don't know how you say his last name. I'm sorry, Norway. But with that being said, do we think more people will get arrested, will get in trouble? And I'm gonna bring up something that Omatic said earlier that I think is super super important. But where do you guys think that the Epstein files, as we keep our updates going, where do you think we are right now?
I believe. Hold on.
I got nothing for the. I got nothing for the files, man. I'm here to learn. Whenever we talk about the files, man, this is super blinders for me. I'm still baffled, as I always keep saying, that files are still happening, man. As I keep saying, either get them out of here or don't, man. Like, how
Well,
many files do we have to drop? Like, what are the goals for the files at this point? We're not trying to get these random cats out the way at this point, are we? You know what I'm saying?
They
Like, what are we
they
doing?
try and get him unredacted currently. Ever since Pam Bondi showed her ass in front of Congress last week,
My thing
that's
is,
been their push.
my thing is, who who could be hurt the most by these files?
Everyone
Aside,
in the United States government.
okay. Well, when you put it like that, I guess then that what I mean. Like,
Because Pam
so
Bondi, she literally said in front of Congress, if we if we arrested any perpetrators, this could all go down. She did not get specific, but she said that in one of her outbursts.
so I just I just don't understand. I really don't, man. I don't understand how, even though I get it, I understand what's going on. I get that everybody's has ties to this one man, but it's just crazy how this one man can have all this power, and we're all afraid of these files. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Like,
well, the truth is that I don't know if that is a because I agree with you. It's crazy how one man is so central to all of this, but the issue is that
feels scapegoatish to me. I don't know.
yes, there. I think that's the issue is that that for example was Obama like I'm not even the biggest Obama fan. I think most people know that Obama wasn't doing this stuff. Like so for me, what are we trying to say? Like when you say everybody in the government, who do you mean? Like
Exactly.
like
It's everybody.
are y'all all sleeping with 12-year-olds? Like if that's the case, we got a way bigger problem than just the Republicans, Trump, Mac. We like this society is hell. Like if that is the case, that because that's the thing about the Epstein. Epstein isn't a 2016 issue. He's not even a Trump administration issue. He was a I've been around since 1970s issue. He has workings with people in governments in nations for nearly 50 years. We're not talking about someone who came through, who was a CEO at some company last week and embezzled some money. No, we're talking about someone who started his career at a public school for boys
Hmm.
and then worked his way up. Like people keep talking about like all the, but like who knows what he did when he was working at that private school with them? Like we could go back as far as then.
His
What
mentor at the school allegedly had ties to Israel
Wexner?
too.
Speaking of, Wexner was under deposed. this other day, and I don't know if you saw the video, Matic, but this man's lawyer, the dude who apparently gave Epstein his money, his lawyer going to whisper to him on a hot mic, "Don't answer no more fucking questions."
Yeah.
Like this is what the lawyer said to him in court
No more than 5 words, my boy.
when they're asking him questions about sexual assault to other people, financing rape, like that. That is what the lawyer is getting caught on mic saying. So for me, once again, whether it's
I'm not
Wex,
mad at that.
once again,
That's the
What is
judicial
it?
system. That is the way you do this shit. If you were a lawyer, that's what you tell your client. I'm not
and,
mad at
and
that.
I'm not mad at that, but once again, once you get caught, now we all have to ask you.
I mean, we know you're saying this in the back room. Don't
But
say
that's the whole
shit.
point. It's just like
We can prove you saying it now.
yes, it's like OJ and Johnny Cochran. Everybody knew that. Not everybody, but most people were like, "Yo, Johnny Cochran, like he's supporting a man who's a murderer. Like that's bad vibes." But his job is to get a murderer. That's his job. So most black people were like, "Do your thing, Johnny Cochran." But nobody would be like, if Johnny Cochran was in the public being like, Johnny Cochran was off some, hey, I did my job. If the glove don't fit, he must have quit because that's part of the job. The job isn't to be like, yo, don't fucking answer. Like, that's some gangster mafia. That's not lawyer shit.
The
There's a
question is, why wasn't that already discussed
hey,
before we even got there?
there
Like,
we go.
what are you doing?
There we go. Now we're
The
talking.
kill is, it probably was, but Wexler's just an old man.
Oh,
Very
old
much
as hell.
so.
So he's
I
just like, you asking me questions? Oh, yeah, I got answers for you, buddy.
Yeah. So as we all know, I'm super blind as cat. But I told I've been watching the old Epstein Joe. So I just got hip to the Wexler vibe. So I kind of know what's going on. So that's kind of wild, but definitely old as fuck. So maybe
You know what the
you know
funny
what I
thing
mean.
about Wexner is? Because, like you said, the one on Netflix about Epstein, the way they're making it seem is like I thought Wexner was dead for a long. The way they make it is like, oh,
Felt like it.
it's like, oh, he gave him his money, and it seemed like this man just walked. But it was like, no, Wexner's still long been alive, still been doing stuff, still having his own money. So that is the thing that I always find interesting because even in this deposition, he mentions Trump. He mentions Trump being at the Victoria's Secret shows, him finding it odd. Like Wexner says himself that he found it odd that Trump would be at these shows. He like y'all just letting the cat out. Like y'all telling us what we like. We know that y'all are nasty workers, but that's the update on the Epstein. I'm sure we'll find more. More. You know what, Mook? Me and Omatic was fake talking about a top five. Who's like the top five most egregious people on the Epstein, or like who are the worst characters?
I had no part in that.
Yeah, he didn't have no part. Me, Jelaine Maxwell, number one. Number two, Andrew, aka Windsor.
Mhm.
Number three, low key, I think Bill Gates gotta be in there. Like Bill Gates gotta be top five.
He's my number two.
Oh, he's your number two. Yeah, no, he's number three for me. I think former Prince Andrew is number two because he got those actual pictures. You see the pictures of him over top the girl? Yeah, those that's nasty work. So
And she
he
was allegedly not alive in that picture.
wow, I thought, oh, yeah, that's bad. So yeah, that you got to go to two strictly off of that. Four is Trump and Clinton because both of y'all were presidents, so y'all gotta hold that together. And my fifth is not because I think he was doing nasty work, but it's just because why was your dumb ass there, Chris Tucker? I don't like that Chris Tucker was there. Like I just it don't. And you know I love me some Chris Tucker. Money Talks is one of my favorite movies.
For sure.
I don't like that Chris Tucker was there because it makes me look bad. So I don't like that. This is a personal like I don't like that he was there. So outside of that, but my real fifth would probably be like Dershowitz or somebody who's always on
Or his
fucking
lawyer.
yeah, because he's oh you know one thing I don't like about Dershowitz, he's always on TV. Like,
Yeah.
how are you always on TV and you got all this nasty work to your name? Like, but those are my five.
You know why.
Yeah.
But
Cheers.
let me give Robert Maxwell number one. Even though he's not in the files, but he started all of this bullshit. Um, Let me get his daughter at number two. Bill
Okay.
Gates at number three.
Okay.
Because ever since his wife came out and was talking about that shit, and then the STD with the Russian junk and all that, bro, ain't no telling what else she was doing. Plus, you own a very large technology company, so there's no telling who you sold this technology to and what kind of technology that you probably couldn't sell in America. Um, and he's probably somebody that could be on there. Number four, yeah, let's get Alan Dershowitz on there, of course, just because he's a lawyer. And number five may shock you, but that Obama, why are you on it? All right.
Obama went to the island.
No, he ain't go to the island, but I'm pretty sure he was talking to Epstein.
Nah, you gotta have made it to the island once, man. You
Oh,
can't.
you talking about the island? Oh, wow.
Yeah, man.
Who was on the island? Yeah, let me get Hillary.
Hillary, what? I think
She
so.
got she
Yeah,
got testified. Yeah, she
yeah.
had to
I think
go.
she did go.
Yeah,
Damn, she got to chill.
dang, she got answers for that Haiti shit.
I love. You know what? Another thing I do love about the Epstein thing is though cats are like, "Oh, you did that? Yeah, come answer for this too." Like, cats are just like, "You got to answer for all." And you know what? Sometimes that needs to happen. So I'm not even mad.
Matter we asking questions, you know.
Our last thing in the world of politics is the Iran war seems to be on our doorsteps. By I don't, from all accounts, military personnel has been moving towards the Middle East all of this week. From Monday on, we have had people, we have had talks about tanks, flankers, all moving throughout from the U.S. towards the Middle East. Last time I checked, they said they had tankers docked out off of Morocco that are about 3 to 4 days away, 3 to 5 days away from making it towards Iran. So we will see what does or does not happen as far as that goes. But Donald Trump has made it pretty clear that he believes there's about less than 2 weeks for a negotiation to be had between Iran and the United States on behalf of Israel. I want to make that very clear that this is being done on behalf of Israel to
Nice to know.
find essentially an ending to Iran's nuclear program. That is what from
And,
reports is
and ballistics.
well, that's what has been added. That has been added by Israel, Netanyahu in particular. But apparently, the crux of the conversation is Iran's nuclear program. Now, if you guys remember, last year there was a 12-day war, but America just bombed Iran for 12 days last year in the summer.
Iran got their shit off though.
Yeah, but that happened last year. So it seems as though we are tooling up for a larger and a more prolonged attack this time around. I think that if it does happen, it's going to happen after the Olympics because I've been reading a bunch of stuff, and that's one of the things that has been brought to my attention that a lot of world leaders, for whatever reason, don't like to
Fight during the Olympics or
yes,
around it.
don't like to have attacks happen during these frames because it is kind of seen as like a neutral or like a I don't even know how to explain it, but there's it's
I think
basically
I think the last time it happened was what World War II. Hitler was
I think it's like common courtesy not to do that. Like there have been wars that have taken place during Olympics and things, but you don't initiate one while one is going on. So with that being said, I think March. I think we do. I think there's no way you do all this to not actually have some sort of violence happen. Like to just be quite frank, I think something does happen. To what extent, I don't know, but I would expect it to happen in like the next coming weeks. Like in 2 weeks, I think Trump is. I don't think Trump is lying to us. I think Iran has about 2 weeks to decide if how gangster they really want to get.
I think it's the other way around personally.
As far
Because
as
how gangster you want to get.
okay,
Because America, you're doing someone else's bidding. Israel, you know how the fuck we get down. Like we had missiles in Tel Aviv a couple months ago. So, and that's why you asking for our ballistic missile program to be
Yeah,
shut down along with this nuclear
yeah.
power deal. Like, and they keep acting like Iran has the capabilities to make nuclear weapons. They don't. Like, that's why they just have ballistic missiles, and that's why they fund other countries like armies and stuff like that, so they can do that even with the sanctions that they have on them. But another thing, like the Strait of Hormuz, like you can have a war with Iran if you want to. We run the Strait of Hormuz. Like we will starve you.
20% of the world's trading goes through that strait.
Yeah, like and then like what, a fifth of the world's oil?
I don't know those exact numbers, but it is a very high percentage of the world's
Yeah,
oil
like
comes through
I
there.
think the last time I read, like a third of the world's oil runs through there. So it's just like whether it be American or not. And then the last time they threatened to shut down the Strait of Hormuz, everybody crumbled because it's just like one, Israel, you needed oil because you were trying to go to war, and it's just like okay, America's oil is right here, so you can call Chevron, Exxon, whoever the fuck you want to call, you ain't getting it, champ. And Iran is like a formidable foe. Like I don't know why people think they aren't, but
Yeah.
they are. Like you know what I'm saying? Like this is like Afghanistan, but with an actual government and army. Like you know what I'm saying? Because like if you go on land and think you about to do something in Iran, all of that lion flag, Muslim flag shit is out the window, my nigga. Like this is Iran, and like you on our soil now, so you gonna get those people acting the way they gonna act with U.S. soldiers on the soil, and then like if you try to do navally, like bro, we got ships and shit too. And if you really want to get gangster, Turkey's gonna get involved because they just bought F-35s and a bunch of shit from the American ally, Saudi Arabia, because like Saudi Arabia bought it from America and then sold it to Turkey. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, bro, like the Middle East is like warring up for this. Like Iran is not the only country that's like, oh yeah, bro, like how gangster we about to get? Because at this point, like you going against the Caliph of Islam, and then because it's like that's Iran, and then like they're Islamic Republic. Like regardless of what people say, like it's an Islamic nation, and Muslims like we hold that in high regard, my nigga. Like, and plus, they the only government in the Middle East that has gone hard, other than Yemen, against Israel for Palestine. So it's just like I'm not really hearing too much about what American guys say because I've seen y'all crumble before, my nigga. Like, chose like I keep saying. So it's just like, especially with this government, and then it's like you are being controlled by a person that don't even got his own government really backing him, other than the people that is like, you know what I'm saying, other than like I don't even want to say his name, but yeah, because I feel like he gets too much and he does a lot with the settlers, but yeah, bro. So it's just like yeah, and then it's just like how many countries have tried to hit Tel Aviv, and they had three missiles land in Tel Aviv back to back to back with the Iron Dome. So it's just like, yeah, it's cool, but you know what I'm saying? If we get Lebanon and Yemen and all these other people throwing missiles at you at the same time, that's crazy. Like I don't know how you really gonna survive. Like Israel's not a big country, and I don't think America's really gonna try to do too much to really save them. Because I feel like Trump will flip. Like that's the difference between Trump, this president, and other presidents. I think he will flip on that nigga. Like that's why he's been prolonging this debate too. Because it's just like, bro, I don't want to go to war with them. Like I don't want to do this. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I really don't want to do this. And like the way they acting, you can tell. Like even Marco Rubio and all of them, like the way they talking, they acting like they don't want. Like Marco Rubio still talking about Venezuela.
Yeah, that's very true. They have definitely, in particular, Rubio. He's definitely been talking about colonization of all these other places. Like he doesn't seem to be too worried about the Middle East. He seems to be doing let's pivot and let's just try to go bully other people.
Yeah.
But like I said, Trump said that we got about 10 to 14 days. If any of our predictions, if our predictions are to keep going like they will going, the U.S. will attack Iran in about like between 7 and 10 days. Like,
Probably doing this next live.
yeah, like by like March 4th, Iran would have had been attacked. I think it's pretty much a safe bet. So if you're one of those people who likes to go on those prediction markets, I think that's a safe bet. Like Iran, America engages in military battle before March 4th. I think you could book that.
And all I gotta say is, bro, attacking Muslims during Ramadan hasn't worked out for anybody that has done it.
I was actually gonna say it feels like that might be that seems like that's part of the play, like to hit cats during Ramadan, which is nasty work. Like, come on, man. Like, why let cats cook? Like, let niggas chill.
It
Like,
hasn't
like
worked
this they
well for
holy
a lot
month.
of people, bro.
Like this they holy month. I know cats think they tired and all, but I feel like when you dedicated to something, you just go a little harder. So like I wouldn't even want to like make cats, feel like whatever, but
They've been telling us Palestine is going to be rubble and nobody's going to be living there for the last 2 years, and they've been trying to starve them to death and kill babies and shit. But somehow they're still populating and fighting and saying that it's still over 2 million people in Gaza. So it's just like, hey, brother, you know what I'm saying? With the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on your side, nobody can tell you nothing.
I feel that. Let's move to some sports. Oh, Matt, you were gonna say something?
I was talking to my son, but
Yeah.
just a great quote. War, old men talking, young men dying. Pray for all
Woo!
the pray for all the soldiers out there, man.
Fire bars, Jesus. Uh, oh, I was like, he got something else to say. That was a very fire bar though. I wonder whose quote that was. But move on to the NBA. NBA All Star Weekend came and went. Shout out to LA. Shout out to the association. Shout out
I'm
my
going to say, you
girl.
was out there.
Shout out my girl Jasmine. Shout out my boys Peach and Ronnie. Shout out Federica. They got me this hoodie from the game. So shout out to them. Shout out to them. But before we actually dive into the All Star game, which did great this year, it was. Let me make sure I get this correct. The All Star game had its most viewers in 24 years, and it tripled last season's viewership. So shout out to NBA All Star Weekend.
Facts.
New format seems to be working, but Mr. Kevin Durant, come to the front of the stage, my Prince George's County brother. We are about to have a conversation.
Man,
So,
we got to keep the tall, skinny niggas united, Charles. We can't.
nah,
If anybody that can address him, it's us, though.
shortly before the festivities on All Star Sunday tipped off, NBA fans whipped up a storm on social media as Kevin Durant's burner account was allegedly discovered when
Stuff for the
when an ex user going by the handle of Saw Demon 25 posted screenshots from an account called Get Off My Dickerson. Come on,
Okay.
bro. That was KD. Come on, bro. Like other Nutsons started echoing the claim that it was none other than Houston Rockets superstar behind the explosive tweets on the burner. Da 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 da. Basically, if you haven't seen anybody yet, now you should have. KD has been said to have had another burner, and in that burner, he is shitting on current teammates, former teammates, people in the league,
Ex
coaches,
coaches.
ex coaches, and all that. Here's my thing. I love Kevin Durant. I think Kevin Durant is, if not the best player of his generation, depending on how you decide what a basketball generation is. He is the second
What a
best.
good basketball player is, too.
He's the best or the second best, depending on how you frame that. Him or Steph Curry. I think the generation. I think LeBron's a little bit too old to be in that generation, but whatever. But for me, Kevin Durant is also a Bama. Like he has done too many things up until this point for me not to be like, all right, you a Bama. But he's also like one of the top 10, 15 greatest basketball players to ever exist. So it's very hard for me, not very hard, but I struggle with the idea that Kevin Durant should be seen in one way or the other way because I think the idea that you should see him as strictly like this basketball savant, you can't because he do shit like this. He do shit like get on a burner and be arguing with essentially like teens and young adults about his basketball legacy. But on the same hand, he has one of the greatest basketball legacies ever to exist. I don't know how to really sit with that because He's a Bama. Like there's your man was talking about. Oh, I think she dating Herbo. Like, come on, bro. Like, you are too accomplished, too wealthy, too all of these things to be doing shit like that.
You're
But
36.
you 36, my nigga. You're 36. Like, come on. But he wasn't just doing it. He was actively doing it. And this isn't the first time he's done this. He's done this before. So that you can't even make
Is
him.
this stamped though? This stamp him?
Bro, I have on good authority somebody that we all know in a group chat who has told me that, oh yeah, I've seen these texts because we know another person who was in a group chat who was in the group chat, the KD group chats. Like
Wow.
that's what I'm saying. Like and that's my thing. That's why at first I was like, oh, maybe this is just a burner. But no, once I had that person who we all know confirmed to me that, like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
these are like from 2022, 2023. Like, yeah, I seen them back then when I was hanging with homie and homie was showing me. I was like, yeah, like this is just like that's the thing. He's just a Bama. Like his like and my thing is that be a heel. Like have your heart. Like if you gonna talk shit, like bro. If he was talking cash shit about Steph and West, he would have more people fuck with him. But he don't want the fact that people would not fuck with him. Here's the thing: people would not fuck with him too, but he would have a large segment of the people be like, oh you going hard? Like they fuck with that. Talk to me,
So
O'Malley.
so so we're mad that he's just doing it from the burner. We're just mad that he's
Yes,
not. Oh, okay.
come on, bro. Like have
My
some.
thing is, we know the burner is him, so it's just like we know that these are your gripes at this
But here's the
point. You know
thing,
what I
though.
mean?
He be hiding. Oh, see, the first
But
one,
he
yes.
stamped that it was his
He be
burner for
ducking this shit in,
years.
but he be
He
ducking this
stamped
in
that he got a
public though.
burner.
Yes, he said that he got a burner. And that's when he had
No,
first
I
got
didn't know
called.
about the multiple burners. No,
Yeah, that's when he had
if
first
that's
got
where we're
called.
going. Yeah.
When he first got called, yeah, he was like, you know what, I be doing that because I want to just talk regular like everybody else. Fine. But now he's like, buddy, he's making the burner and he's basically hiding behind the fact that he got like, come on, bro, you're fucking Kevin Durant. You have a whole you have a whole media you have a whole media empire.
Yeah.
35 ventures. Like you could literally go and speak to people anytime you want to get your story out. So why are you doing this in
The
Twitter DMs?
boardroom, the boardroom shit. He came in
Bro,
and talked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you could do that. You could
Damn good to interview with Hakeem.
bro, you could set the narrative as
Great
much
Kane
as you want,
interview. You know what I mean?
however you want. So I'm not hearing, oh, I want to get my shit off. You literally have that's why all these new media cats, they were all liars. They were all these cats wanted to do was they wanted to control how people thought of them. And what people need to realize is that nobody control. You don't get to control how people see you. You can only put things out there and hope that those people buy your message. Like that's all PR is, trying to sell your message. Not everybody buys the message. Steph Curry don't do as much, bro. Steph Curry don't do that much PR, and he is beloved.
The
That's
wife
the
the wife would be talking crazy on the pod. He don't even address it.
bro. Steph Curry is beloved. Only people who really like be going hard about they don't fuck with Steph Curry is the NBA Twitter cats. Like Steph Curry in almost every popular segment of the world or American society is beloved. Everyone loves Steph Curry. Kevin Durant, he's not beloved like that. Do people think he's an amazing basketball player? For sure. Is he beloved? Hell no. So the KD files to me is just a culmination of a guy who is really good at his craft, maybe the greatest of a generation, not feeling that embrace, and then acting out. Like it's like, bro, you don't need to act out. Like just chill out and be great at basketball, but
But
it's cooked
get
from.
off get off Twitter when you sparking, KB. Go watch some on YouTube, bro. Cause I already know that this where it stemmed from. You hit the J, you get on Twitter, you see somebody adding you on your other jump, then you go to the burner, then you just I'm like, bro, don't do that. Man. Get off this machine, bro. Hit your J in peace, bro. Like that's what's wrong with niggas. They want to be stressed out when they spark. They don't want to be like you wasting good weed on the burner accounts, man. Like I understand you got it, you know what I'm saying? It don't matter to you, but nigga, fuck that, nigga. Enjoy your high in peace, bro. Like that might be why the little bro. Like you can't be fried and stressing. Now you really frazzled, my nigga. Like
Agreed. Agreed.
I don't agree. Did you watch Court of Gold? Did you watch Starting Five?
No.
Like
no.
bro said, that is his therapy, bro. He literally told the Netflix cameras that
Oh yeah, I
going
remember
on
that. I
Twitter
remember that clip.
and that is his therapy. So I can't. Everybody's shit is different, bro. Now, granted, you're wilding. You know what I'm saying? But also, at the same time, I don't think anything he said was wrong. You know what I'm saying? We talking about, a lot of
If
cats.
Israel need drones,
I'm
tell
not
them
talking about that. I'm talking about the basketball
Keep
stuff. I
keeping it
don't
okay.
strictly
I
basketball.
don't give a I don't give a fuck about the politics and all that shit. When we're talking about the Warriors, we're talking about
Nigga
Jabari, we're
Omatic
talking
said
about
move. Time out.
Sengun.
Hold
Like,
on. You think he was right
bro,
about the Warriors stuff?
I mean, give Steph the ball or and get out the way. You know what I mean? That felt like right to me. Oh, my shit froze. Okay,
No, no,
whatever.
no. I mean,
Give Steph the ball, get out the way. You know what I'm saying? Sengun, he might be an idiot. You know what I mean? Not, you know what I mean? Jabari, retarded. I'm not that word because people, you know what I mean? I feel like the
Not that
basketball
word.
stuff. So again, as we just said, top 10, top 15 player to ever play. He has this resume to call out basketball stuff like this. I feel like he can do that. Now, when you're talking about the politics and drones and shit, you got me. But like when we're talking the basketball stuff, I'm
but
not
here's my
mad at stuff like
no,
that.
and okay, and here's my issue with, and not my issue per se, because okay, I agree with the sentiment you're making. Kevin Durant has that ability. All right, now this is the same Kevin Durant who be getting mad, legitimately upset when people like Shaq, people like Charles Barkley be doing the
Call
same
him out.
thing. So that's basically that's my issue with Kevin Durant. If you said this with your chest, then okay, I'd respect it because
We don't
you
know.
are.
We don't know if he's telling these cats this. I can stamp probably the old. We don't know if he's doing this to the Rockets now. I feel like the Warrior stuff. That's probably old hat. Like he did not be boastful about it for sure.
And that's my thing. My
But
thing is that
but maybe 2025, 26. He's like, fuck
maybe,
it.
but all I know is that I've seen Kevin Durant complain too much publicly, in particular about former basketball
Cap.
players having stuff
Yeah.
to say about him and his game. In particular, stuff that don't got to do with the actual play on the court. A lot of the stuff about Russ and Steph wasn't about actual like it was about compete. What do you mean they compete? Like, did they tell you that, or do you think that? Like, that's the thing. It's a lot of projections in through some of these things I'm reading. And once again, Kevin Durant, he's allowed to feel that way. But I don't ever want to hear Kevin Durant talk about, oh, the media, this and that, ever again. I really don't, because I see how you talk about Steph Curry. I see how you talk about Russell Westbrook. I see how you talk about Devin Booker. All I will remind you is that the Phoenix Suns are currently in the playoff position last year. This year, they didn't make the playoffs last year. Do you know what the difference is? You were on the team. You're not on the team this year. The Warriors have won championships before and after you. You haven't sniffed the finals since you left it. I'm just saying, as much as he wants to do all this, that's the thing about Kevin Durant. He could poke all he wants at other people. When people start doing it to him, then he starts, well, I'm the god basketball player. That's fine. That's fine. But I saw you blow a 3-1 lead to the Warriors in the Western Conference Finals
And then be in the Warriors jersey the
and
next
then be
year.
in the Warriors jersey the next year. Like, so as much as you want to do the get pass the ball to Steph and get out the way, you didn't have to. You didn't have to do that. You didn't. You chose to do that. You
And it's
chose to, man.
and it's so wild that
You
you
chose to.
this insecure, Katie, when you were the Finals MVP.
Literally.
Like
But
you
you know,
were.
but that's why I
It's
can't even
crazy.
believe what he's saying, because when people are like, "Oh, he was the finals," him and his heart, he knows what's up. He knows he might have been the finals, but he knows that wasn't his teams. He know he wasn't the engine that made that. He knows in
For
his
sure,
heart.
for
He
sure.
he knows, because if he wouldn't be this pressed to keep talking about this years after. They did the great, the Twitter detectives when the Warriors were in the finals versus the Celtics and they lost the first game. I think they lost game one or game two versus the Celtics. Kevin Durant tweet high level of basketball being played. He had like tweeted that whatever. When the Warriors end up winning that series, and what Draymond petty ass tweeted some shit like, yeah, that was a high level of basketball being played. Like, bro, the man is hurt. He's hurt because he believes he was more important. He was just as important as Steph to the Warriors run. And while he might believe that, none of that has actually been proven in public. The Warriors fans don't treat it like that. The general public is like, don't your rings don't mean as much. Your finals MVPs don't mean as much. So it's him. It's basically him and his.
The Warriors organization didn't carry it that way neither.
It's basically him and his basically basketball entourage being like, yeah, it was me, and everyone else being like, all right.
I seen that light skinned boy put a 40 in the same thing.
That's what I'm saying. And once again, he won't let that go. Like, so shout out to the KD Fives. Shout out to him. Once again, he's still one of the greatest basketball players to exist. So the Fives, this is just more so like a damn, why you gotta be like that? Like, damn, and you from PG. That's bro, if KG was like from like Chicago, or if he was
See Pleasant.
Chill.
Throwing up gang signs in the chat.
I haven't seen someone throw up C Pleasant, no lie, in at least 20 years. Like 05 was probably that's why I was like
the 20 for 20, my nigga.
Like, I haven't seen someone throw out bro. When I used to go to rec parties that's the last time I see someone throw up C Pleasant. Oh my mama!
I know some good men from C.
I definitely know some good men from C.
I know some good cats from C. But I haven't seen, literally, it's 2026. I ain't seen someone throw C Pleasant since 05 on everything I love.
Go ahead, move on.
Everything I love. No, we're gonna finish, like I said, NBA All-Star Weekend. The most viewed All-Star Weekend in 24 years, triple what it did last season. It was led by Anthony Edwards in the new format. Did everyone enjoy the format?
I wish it was halves and not quarters and not like
quarters. Okay,
I need them to cut the teams in half. Like, I need the star and five from the team, the two American teams, and then them foreigners, and then just let Anthony Edwards cook everybody on the other side, because that's pretty. Him and Kawhi can just pretty much beat them niggas by themselves.
Yeah, no, it was. I thought the format, for what it's worth, made it so that people were a little bit hungrier, and also the two best foreign cats on the team outside of Wemby, they barely played, and they don't play in All-Star games. The other two foreign cats who I think would have made this more interesting, Giannis and SGA, were hurt. So, there's levels to all of this. But I thought just overall it was a good All-Star weekend. I thought the format, it made it competitive, and that's really what you want in an All-Star game. You want there to be moments of competitiveness, and we got that. So for me, can't complain. I would argue it was a 10 across the board. Good All-Star weekend. I think it will lead to an interesting second half. I'm very curious to what happens, but we'll see.
I'm with that. I definitely was fucking with it. I did, like I said, I was not watching the dunk contest.
Didn't watch that.
Did not watch that, but everything that I saw, it was tennis across the board for sure. Like, great competition. The 3-point contest, Dame in that jump.
Shout out Dame.
Because, like, I don't know how you win that with 1 foot, but doing jump shots. But yeah, and then I was watching another podcast earlier. Is Dame like a top 5 shooter all time? They are.
Yeah. Why not? I think he has the volume and he's made enough threes. It's like him, Clay, Reggie Miller, Steph, and then I don't know.
Okay, because that's where I was at with it. Because I was like, bro, it's hard for you not to say he is when he got them buzzer beaters from the other side of the floor. Like,
I think he got a lot of moments. I don't know. Like, there might be guys who might like the Kyle Korvers, like guys who just shot and made a lot. Shot and made a lot of threes. But I think Dame has done it, and he has those moments. So it's like,
He got the
And
volume along with the moments.
you know, he shooting like 40 footers. Like
Yeah,
he be doing that.
and he shoot that shit at a high clip. Like
Yeah,
it's not like he's shooting like 25, 30% from that. Like he's shooting like 40, 42 from 40 feet. Like that's fucking crazy.
agreed. Any other NBA storylines we need to tackle for the second half?
What is K doing right now? I know both of y'all in front of a TV.
What is K doing? You asked.
Yes.
He had 20 in the first half. Last I looked, he had 34 and three.
34 and 3?
33.
Oh, I thought you
So
meant 3 assists. I was about to say, what?
He said 33, 4, and 3.
I can pull the line up 1 second.
But because I was
Yeah,
like
we know this
when I
beef.
came
Sorry,
when we came up to record,
sorry. 35 points, 9 assists, 12
Yes!
rebounds.
I needed the 9 assists. That's why.
There's 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Oh, wow.
Just throw it out there,
Whew.
bro. He hates
so he's
New York.
definitely getting this triple.
He hates New York.
So remember a couple weeks ago, I was saying that Detroit is the best team, and now I'm seeing other people on 4-letter stations or 4-letter networks say that, and I hate that because once these nonsense people get a hold of my takes, they ruin it. So I just want to make it very clear that the take is from me that Cade Cunningham is the best player currently in the Eastern Conference. I don't know if he's better than Giannis. I don't know if he's better, whatever. But as of February 19th, 2026, he's the best player in the Eastern Conference for my money. Best player. And because he is the best player, I'm going to take him in a series moving forward. I don't think that, and here's the thing, I don't think there's a team that is set up well enough to actually beat them. Are there teams that are good? I think the Knicks are really good. I think the Celtics are really good. I think the Cavs are really good. I think there's teams that, hey, they should make it interesting. But when we are playing a basketball game and Cade Cunningham is on the floor in the Eastern Conference, outside of a healthy Giannis, I don't think there is any player who is as good as him. That goes Jalen Brunson. That goes Jalen Brown. That goes whoever Toronto got to throw at him. I am just very much so convinced. James Harden. I am very much so convinced that Cade Cunningham is that good and is that mature. Because I hear people say, "Oh, they need more time. They need more experience." And I normally would agree with that, but after what OKC did last year, screw that. Detroit was in the playoffs last year. They had a tough series that if the refs don't bam, I believe they would have actually beat the Knicks. So listen, you learn from that.
Knicks.
You're in a conference that is not as good as the other conference. That first round match should be what that 1-8 match should be something you should get out the way. When you're
Whatever the
playing
fuck that's gonna be.
that 4-5 right now is looking like what, Cavs or
I want it to be the Knicks. I don't know how.
the Knicks are
but I
2 or
want it to
3.
be-
So I think at
Knicks
best
are
case
4 right
scenario,
now.
the Knicks are at 4 right now. Who's 2? The Celtics?
Let me pull it. Let me
I think
pull it
Celtics
up.
3 right now.
Give me the top 6 real quick, and then I'll dissect shit.
Literally looking at it earlier. Sorry, Knicks are 3. So it's Pistons, Boston, Knicks,
Knicks.
Cavs.
There we
Let me
go.
start. Let me start by saying Boston, Knicks, Cavs all got 35 wins. So
Yes.
they can go whichever way.
All right.
That's going off win
So
percentage.
what's 5? I need 5 and 6.
Raptors 5, Philly 6.
Perfect. All right. So Philly is actually my sneaky dark horse. I think if they get right, healthy, you don't want to play them. But
Minus
at-
Toronto.
at that 4-5, let's say everything holds the way it does, and let's say that the Cavs end up playing the Raptors 4-5. The winner of that, if I'm Detroit, I think I'm beating that team. I think I'm beating the Cavs or the Raptors. You don't. So Y'all, I've been hearing about how James Harden isn't good in the playoffs. Why wouldn't you think that Cade and his guys would
Donovan
have,
Mitchell too.
bro? Why wouldn't you think that Cade and them would win that?
I don't think personally. I'm drinking the Kool Aid, as we can see. I'm drinking the fucking Kool Aid. I think I have nothing for the Knicks. I think their year to win it was last year. This is why I want the Pistons to play the Knicks this year, just to get the proverbial revenge. We're in a chat with a Knicks fan. He's talking about Super Bowls for regular season games and all that. It's nothing for them this year. Last year was when it was too young. We didn't have the experience. That was last year. I don't got time for it this year. I think they're locked in. The only team that scares me for the Pistons is that guy number 0 that's apparently coming back in 2 weeks. I think that's the only person
Who?
that can.
Oh, Tatum. Tatum.
I
Okay.
think if he comes back, you know what I'm saying. I've
In
not
what
the big-
capacity is he coming back?
Yeah, that's my worry. You want to know what my worry is?
You hold before you do that, Chuck. We had a guy that just said, you know what I'm saying. His MVP vote is for Jaylen Brown. So you add a Jason Tatum to this game, whatever the fuck he gives. We're talking about a Jason Tatum that's like, I don't know how many points he scores a fucking game if he wants to, if he needs to. He scored the most points in a game than ever. A friend of ours always likes to tell us about
He'll
this.
walk in 30 for sure.
So you can get those buckets. He gets your reps. You know what I'm saying? And you're already number 2 in the fucking Eastern Conference, and you're telling me that your guy's the MVP of this league. So you add Tatum to that. I think that's the only team for me that can scare the Pistons. I got nothing for the
My whole
Knicks.
thing-
I got nothing for Cleveland. No dark horses here. Give me the goddamn pit. We're not talking picks here, but goddamn it, give me the Pistons, man. Like let's.
I just don't know. I just don't know who's going to guard Cade. Like after Chuck just ran down the list of teams in the East,
Jaylen
like
Brown could guard Cade.
I do too.
I think
But
that boxer can guard Cade for sure.
Who?
but if
The
that
boxer,
boxer,
Jaylen Brown.
but my
No, I
whole
heard
thing,
Jaylen Brown. I thought you said someone else.
No.
He's a boxer. So
but my whole thing is like, well, okay, he gets in foul trouble, then what? Because Cade is going to go downhill. Like I was just watching the game earlier. Like they had Mikal Bridges on them, take him to the hole. OG on me. That's not doing nothing. Like you can throw bodies at Cade all the time. And my whole thing is like you throw bodies at him, that's not speeding up his pace. So it's just like
I'm not. Listen, I personally,
I
I'm
fuck
gonna.
with it though. Like I fuck with them coming out the East
I'm
person.
with the others. I think the others are very important for the Pistons.
My thing
The
is,
others are always
squad.
important, but I think
Yeah.
he doesn't have a second dog.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
that would be
the
my
problem.
only question. But that's why I'm like, if there was a really solid team in the East, I'd be like, every team is. No one is solid. There's a lot of.
That number 0 nigga is coming back.
Here's my okay. Thank you. That's what I wanted to say.
Coming back.
I agree with you, but here's my
Boston is a good enough team to possibly beat them.
here's my
Got
issue.
Gucci man. You know what I'm saying?
Here's my issue with
But
Zero
that's without
coming back.
without Zero.
Here's my issue with Zero coming back. I like the Celtics. They got the championship, so you can't even be like, hey, they haven't done it. But since 2017, I'm one of the people who would argue they've underachieved. Like they have had the best team in the Eastern Conference, I would argue, for a large segment of the time. And all they have is one championship and another finals appearance. Like they should have been to the finals multiple times, I think, when the Heat got there. One of the 2 times the Heat got to the finals, basically in the last 5 years, they should have went once. They were down in the series 3-0 and like so as much as, hey, Jason Tatum just comes back and everything should just, click, that hasn't actually been the case. Like they have had times where like Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, they don't know if they could work together, if this out. So I don't think that it's just, hey, Zero comes back and it's just no, I think if Zero comes back, there's a high possibility that things actually go the opposite way before they, did a dot and then they make it right and then move forward. And if you
I
look
wonder
at
when that series if it goes 7.
and if you look at things, we're in February. March is in less than 2 weeks. The playoffs are in less than a month. So when is he going to come back? So if let's say he comes back mid-March,
Bro, they
he
saying they changed the whole game for March 1st. He's coming back March 1st.
all right, he comes back March 1st. That's literally a month before the playoffs. I don't know if that's enough
If
time.
If Jalen Brown's the MVP, be the MVP through round 1 and 2.5. Let's get some you know what I mean?
Once again, I don't deny
Get
it.
your legs up.
My thing is that it sounds good, but having to actually work someone back into the flow of a team and game is not. What it sounds good. Like
Playoff basketball.
plug and play sounds nice, but
Listen.
we're not talking about a guy who is like a bet. You're talking about a guy who thinks of himself as the best player on the team. So once again, in theory, yeah, he could come back and just grab 8 boards and hit a few threes and score 15 points. Yeah, but is that what? I don't think Jason Tatum comes back to be 15 points and 6 rebounds guy. I just don't think that's what he's doing it for. I could be wrong.
We've seen him do that bullshit, and they still win at times, though. Right?
But-
we were mad at Tatum, like, you sold the lay,
exact-
but Celtics are still winning. You know what I'm
But
saying?
exactly. That was him being on bullshit. You're talking about him because of his physical capabilities playing a specific role. And I just don't. Once again, if your mind is telling you I'm one of the best 10 players in the NBA, and your body is saying maybe not so much, I don't know how good that will do for a team that is trying to win, because the team is winning because Jaylen Brown is being the MVP and it's Jaylen Brown and the guys. How much is Jason Tatum just going to become one of the guys? Once again, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
it's
If he
it's,
Chuck,
it's
not to
not
cut
good.
you off, but
It-
if he was talking about, like, if he had that mindset, like top 10, I might be on Nomadic's side. Jason Tatum's more like, I'm top 3 in the NBA. So it's just like, that makes it even worse.
You know what I'm
you're
saying?
Like, bro, like, just sit down. Like,
I would much rather you just wait and be your full self so that you can come in and just do everything than you come in and dumb down or be a dumbed down version of yourself. And now other people are like, yo, that's not this. Like, I don't really know that guy. Like, I don't really like. He's definitely a body. Listen, there are issues that they don't have enough bodies. Like, they've lost Porzingis, Al Horford. Like, so it's more so a body issues. And then it's not like they gained people. They traded Anthony Simmons for Vucevic. So it's not as though they just gained. Like, Anthony Simmons had been playing great to start the season for them, and then they let him go to get size because they lost Al Horford and Porzingis last year. So it's not one of these things where they have adequately changed one for one. They've changed one to hide the other. And for me, I don't know how long. Once again, the NBA regular season playoffs, it works. It works. See, and I agree with this. I agree with Shannon. He's gonna come back, play hard, and re-injure too early, and then that does nobody no good.
Ain't she a Boston? Ain't she
Yeah.
a Celtics fan?
Mhm.
She one of them that's don't want to get her hopes up too much. I don't got
no,
time.
Once again,
she's an honest She's an honest Boston.
I
Like I
think
said.
I think they've done so well this season, and I think Jaylen Brown has proven that I'm one of those. Bro, he was the Finals MVP, and people were trying to act like,
Yeah.
he's still not like a top 15 player. I'm like, y'all crazy.
Here's all I'm saying with it, man. I don't think if I'm the Pistons, I'm not fearing anybody. We have the Knicks number. We lost all them games by a combined 3 points each time last year. We know Cleveland is gonna do Cleveland stuff. Besides that, like, who do you got to worry about, bro? Toronto? No.
Yeah, okay.
Kawhi's not there. I
I'm
got
not-
to worry about Maxey. I got to worry about Embiid's knee. I'm pretty sure that knee won't
Yeah.
hold up.
Okay.
I got Orlando here, no Franz.
Mm-hmm.
Miami, what are we doing with that?
Okay.
And then you got all the playing teams. So, I mean, besides that, you have Jaylen Brown, and then you have Jason Tatum that can come back. I think that's the only thing you should fear
Yeah.
if you're telling me that Jaylen Brown's
Well,
MVP and then you have Jason Tatum coming back. That's
From
the
that
only team-
angle, I agree.
That's the only team you should be fearing.
I'm just worried about team defense. I'm not even thinking about Tatum coming back, bro. Because, like, at this point, he's coming off injury. I'm attacking him if I'm JB Bickerstaff. It's just like, let's see how healthy this nigga
Tatum?
really is, bro. Yeah.
They were saying that, getting Achilles surgery this soon, as soon as it happened, is supposed to speed up the process. So, we just saw
Yeah.
a nigga We just saw a nigga in the 3-point contest. It's off the Achilles injury. So I mean,
Yeah, nigga, that's a three
injuries.
point contest.
I,
That's a
he
stationary
looked.
activity.
He looked
He's
like he
been
was
shooting.
moving from rack to rack. He looked alright. He looked
Yeah,
He
alright from
did.
rack to rack. Yeah.
Yeah, nigga, but
He
that
ain't
ain't.
take off them sweats, so we ain't know what the fuck be
That's what I'm
going
saying.
on.
That
Yeah,
ain't. That ain't. But that's what I'm saying. Like we talking about basketball. We talking about dribble, stop, fast movements, and all of that. Like herky
I'm
jerky, my
saying.
nigga.
I'm
Like
saying.
nah, son. Like if I'm him,
They
like
say 8 to 9 months. They say 8 to 9 months. He there. So I
hey
mean,
man, I'm
we
just
just gotta
saying,
see.
brother.
We
I'm
look,
gotta
attacking
see.
him.
look.
I'm just with Charles with the
Let's,
Pistons, bro.
yeah. And listen, we'll have enough time between now and the playoffs starting to get a full actual picture of what these teams are.
Saying.
I think to me it's the Pistons to lose, but once again, Jalen Brown has been playing so good, and that Boston team has experience. They have enough people on that team that were on the finals teams. Derek White, Pritchard. I'm sure I'm missing a few other cats, but they have enough people that makes me say they'll be fine.
All cuz.
Yeah, Walsh or whatever.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the West real quick before we get up out of here. What is there in the West?
What do you
Joker's
mean?
back tonight.
Well, Joker been back for a couple of games.
Okay. Shay's hurt. So
Shay's hurt for another week.
who else we got out there?
I think the West is going to be interesting because,
It's always interesting.
like, was last year interesting? It was okay. Once we figured OKC was doing that, it was just yeah.
Hmm.
It was
It's
just
really
okay.
about the. It's really about the others in the West. Like, what is that? There's always a top dog or two, and then everything else is like separated by like 2 or 3 games. I think that's where the interesting stuff
I
is.
think the West. I think for me, the West is it's not it's actually opposite of what you said because OKC to start the season, I think totally agree with you. It's them versus
No
everybody
chance.
else, but they done got hurt. People, whether it be Jalen Williams who missed the first 20 games, now he's about to be out another 2 weeks.
For
Uh,
real?
yeah, he missed the first 20. Now he's about to be out another 2 weeks.
No, I ain't know about the 2 weeks.
Yeah, Hartenstein was injured for a little
He's
bit.
hurt.
SGA has been injured. They've had enough injuries, so a team that looked like the team to beat now looks like they're going to have some issues too because, hey, they're just not fully healthy. Uh, Also, that top outside of I think the Rockets, there's a lot of actual championship experience. Denver has won recently. OKC won recently. Uh, you got LeBron and Luca. LeBron has won. Luca has been to a final. Like, there's enough, I think, experience at the top where
Yeah.
outside of
What
the out,
are the Timberwolves gonna make that league?
are the Timberwolves going to finally, get. They've been to the Western Conference Finals the last 2 years and
2
have been
years.
shit when they got there. Like, they get to the Western Conference Finals and it's like, oh, why are we even doing this? The only team at that top who doesn't have any experience is the Spurs. So I think for me, the question is, which Spurs teams do we see in the playoffs? Do we see a young team that has a bunch of fourth year and under players? Or do we see a team that is like super talented? Like, is Wemby, Stephon Castle, Fox, and all those guys just enough because they're just super talented, or are they young? And this is we talk about it. They're going to need to take their playoff humps. I don't know. I'm interested because I think that the Rockets I'm not interested anymore. Not because I don't think they're good, but the KD stuff I really feel like that stuff actually matters. I feel as though like you can't you can't have like type drama and just win unless your players are all that good. And I don't think the Rockets are that good of a team where like drama won't impact them. So like, and they
And
got
they're
a
missing their point guard.
that too, and they don't actually have a point guard. So I don't really worry about them. Timberwolves to me might be the most intriguing team that we have that isn't like in that top 4 or 5 because once again they've been to 2 Western Conference Finals back to back, and the same way I'm talking about Cade, that's how I feel about Anthony Edwards. If there wasn't Wemby, I'd argue Anthony Edwards is the best player out there.
No arguments from me. You know that's my boy. So I just want them to just. I just want them niggas to just get there, bro. Like get to the Western Conference Finals. do what you gotta do, and then play that team in the finals and just see what happens, bro. Because I feel like if they actually get there, nobody knows what happened. But we seen you get to the Western Conference Finals, so let's just play ball, bro. Like, stop the bullshit. Like, let's do stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Agree.
And you definitely that good, bro. Like, you are that good on both sides of the ball. Like, you can actually play defense and put the ball in the hole. So it's like, let's do it. And I think that goes for both of these young men that we've been speaking about so eloquently for the last 20, 30 minutes. Same thing with Cade. Like, I think like he D's up. I think that's the difference between us going to play a role in his role in the Eastern Conference. So in the playoffs. So I feel like it should be a very interesting playoffs. What you got, James?
I don't got much, man. Like, how are we crowning this guy, man? Like,
Who?
And who's crowning them? We just said we
Who's
want them
kind
to
of
be
who?
good.
you know what I'm saying? Like, we've been, what we say, we went to the Western Conference twice. He got what year is it for a guy? Let me not.
Anthony Edwards is in his 5th or 6th year. He
It's his
came here
fifth
in
year.
2020. I was saying they're ahead of schedule. The Timberwolves
What?
over the last 2 seasons, or they weren't prior to were the Timberwolves supposed to be in the Western Conference Finals in the last 2 seasons?
I don't know. I feel like the Western Conference Finals always changes, so I don't know if that's a thing. Like we had the Suns going to the Western Conference Finals, and we're like, what the fuck is going
What do
on?
you mean the Suns went to the final? Yes, because that was
They went to the
5 years ago.
finals. Yeah.
Still, it was like, what the fuck is going on?
You mean the team that
Hasn't
traded
been
for
better
Chris
since.
Paul? That team that was their whole thing, like
Yeah.
trying to get to
To
the.
get to the finals.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, shit. Maybe it's his year. I pray for Anthony Edwards for all the AE believers, man. I really hope that he
Why
does
you
well.
hate Aaron Edwards? What he do to you?
I don't, but he has beef with my guy, and my guy is clearly just.
Who's your guy?
Luca?
What are you talking about?
He got beef with Luca?
I feel like there's an underlying beef.
Nah,
Why
he
would he,
just he just think he's the best. That's
why
it.
would he have beef with him? He just thinks he's better.
Yeah,
That's beef.
That's not beef, nigga. That's competitiveness. Like, that's all that is.
that's not beef.
It's,
Come on,
it's funny to think that you're better, but you just haven't done what he's done to
that's
get
fair.
where
What,
he's
get to
at.
the finals, nigga? You get
Yeah,
to the finals and lose?
I mean he ain't get to the finals. That's the thing. He hasn't
I
got
mean,
to.
we are
Saw
talking about him getting to the finals, but it's just like,
six all
yeah.
pros.
Didn't he
First
sweep him
first
last
two.
year?
They beat him the year before. So what are we
Yeah,
talking
in
about?
the final, in the Western Conference Finals.
What are we
Listen,
talking about?
listen. We're gonna have
Gave a,
many.
gave a nigga a 20 in the first quarter. Like, what are we talking about?
Listen, we're gonna have many,
Like, what are we talking
many
about?
more times to debate the NBA because this is that bad. This the
But what?
NBA.
But what are the Lakers doing then with Luka?
I don't have anything for the Lakers this year. I personally think I'm riding with Joker this year, and if it's not him, I think if the guy that I slander a lot that can't stay healthy stays healthy, I think the Spurs go.
Oh,
If he stays healthy, I think the Spurs go. If he doesn't, I got my guy
I don't
in
understand
Denver.
how you could say that and then talk about experience with other people. What experience do they have?
Well,
And
he's
then
not an
talk about
alien.
him, and then talk about Embiid.
He's not an alien. There's not too many aliens. Anthony Edwards not an alien.
That nigga,
We were just talking about
he's some.
we were talking about I froze again. We were talking about face of the league the other day, right? Talib said we've seen guys score 30 every night. Like we see SGA score 30 every night.
Yeah.
We don't see 7-6 score
Fair.
30, get
7-4.
rebounds.
7-4.
7-4, 7-6 with his
Yeah.
Nikes
Yeah.
on. You know what I'm saying? We
Nah, I
don't
feel
see
you.
that. We don't see the blocks. You know what I'm saying? Like year 2, year 3 or not. But again, I'm not I like Wemby. I'm not over here champion Wemby is the greatest thing ever, but he's an alien. I feel like if he can fuck around and stay healthy, this is what I keep saying, stay healthy.
Yeah.
Before you stay healthy, I'm not giving you shit.
Okay.
But if he stays healthy,
I think it's the
this is his fucking West to lose.
it's the others for me with that team.
And my other thing is, You got to beat the reigning champs. These niggas had their number all year. They haven't lost to them all year.
Okay, I've seen this
With
happen in NBA.
SGA,
I've
with
seen
Jalen Williams,
I've seen
without
this.
Jalen Williams.
I've seen this happen in NBA before, where a
Facts.
team beats a team a bunch of times in the regular season and gets spanked in the playoffs. I've seen this happen.
Michael Jordan and the Utah Jazz.
The Chicago Bulls and the Miami Heat in the 2011-2012 season beat them 3 out of 4 times during the regular season and then got spanked in the playoffs. The Boston Celtics did this, I believe, versus the Miami Heat in
Yeah,
2012.
the Wizards beat the Raptors, swept them first round. Haha, what you talking
Bro,
about?
I've seen this happen many a times where a team has the team's
It's
number
different
during the
levels.
regular
These are-
season.
These are different levels.
What's it? Okay, like everything is different at that case. Then, like,
At the end of the day, my first pick is the fucking Denver Nuggets. So let's start there. But
all right, man. Like I
don't
said,
think
we
they're
will
gonna
have we got basically a month and a half to get ready for the NBA playoffs, and we'll see how the takes materialize until then. Once again, this is always a lovely time with you guys on a Thursday. Shout out to High Codes, Hazy Thoughts, shout out Mook, shout out Matic. We'll see you guys next week. Same time, same place, same banter. Everyone stay black. Amen.
rest in peace, Jesse Jackson.
Rest in peace, motherfucking Jesse Jackson.